A traditional IRA is an individual retirement arrangement.
What is that?
Well, it's tough to explain.
It's basically a tax-advantaged personal savings plan where contributions can be tax-deductible. Traditional IRAs are pre-tax contributions with immediate tax benefits, reducing the amount of income you have to pay taxes on right now. The money you put in is tax-free. You might invest in a traditional IRA if you expect to maybe make less money in the future than you do now.
It might happen. Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
In a way, you're deferring your taxes on the IRA gains to some point in the future. And remember, this is the opposite of a Roth IRA. With Roths, you pay your taxes now, then contribute the money. So the funds grow and can be taken out later in life, completely tax-free. Both are super easy to sign up for and can be funded in minutes. But in this video, we'll focus on the traditional IRA. Is this type of IRA right for you? Keep watching and we'll take a deep dive into this kind of retirement account. In a traditional IRA, you control the investment, not your work, not your employer, and not that financial planner who's not going to get you as good returns. And it doesn't have to be in a mutual fund that's going to kill you with fees. You can invest the money any way you see fit.
Wait a minute, did you say anything? Anything.
Anything.
Yes, anything.
Anything.
I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident.
And if you follow all the greatest investors over the past century, you can simply buy a low-cost index fund, like an ETF, like SPY or VOO, that follows the market, and you'll get a great average return of just under 10% year to year for the rest of your life. And it's this compounding interest that can transform your family and give wealth not only yourself, but your heirs for generations to come. The key is that you're investing in your IRA consistently, putting the same amount in month after month. And if you're contributing to a 401k at work, you're kind of already doing this. But that's the key to all of this. The sooner you start saving and investing in low-cost ETFs, the longer you'll be able to take advantage of that time in the market and that compounding interest. Through dollar cost averaging and saving that same amount month over month, you'll set yourself up for a great retirement nest egg. An advantage to starting a traditional IRA is that anyone with earned income is eligible to contribute, even if you're making a ton of money. And if you're a stay-at-home parent or spouse, fear not. You can actually contribute to a spousal IRA and get these same benefits, which is totally cool. The same thing goes for age restrictions. There are none.
That's what I'm talking about. Wow!
You can invest when you're a teenager all the way into your 90s. And actually, if you're watching this video prior to April 15th in any year, you can contribute for all of last year. So what does this really mean? So say I'm just starting and I wasn't able to contribute last year. Or I had a really bad year and I didn't have any money to put in the account. I can fund my last year's amount all the way up until April 15th of this current year. So just keep in mind you have this grace period up until tax day. Now there are some restrictions we should let you know about. The maximum contribution limit is $6,000 and $7,000 if you're 50 years of age or older. But the goal should be to try and get that $500 in a month, month after month. It's a bit challenging and it takes discipline.
Why must life be so hard?
But in the end, you can completely transform your retirement savings. Let me show you the mind-boggling results. If we look here at our Everything Money retirement calculator, simply saving $6,000 a year from the age of 25 to 65, it can grow to over $2.8 million. But you've actually only contributed $240,000 over those 40 years. If you're lucky enough to get started at the age of 20, you could have $4.6 million. Even a teenager with a small summer job can start doing this. Couple this with your spouse's retirement savings, and the two of you could be living like royalty.
Smiley.
But sadly, if you wait till you're 35 to start investing, you'll end up with just over $1 million. So you've got to get going on this. And it's not like a Roth where the withdrawals are tax-free, so you're gonna have to pay taxes as well. So really, open up a new tab right now. Go to Fidelity, go to Charles Schwab, go to Vanguard, and simply open a new account. Put in your Social Security, link it with your bank account, and set up an automatic deposit like all those other subscriptions you have. Buying into low-cost index funds takes all of 10 seconds. In fact, let me click the buttons. I put in SPY, preview the order, bam, I just bought a year's worth of retirement savings. It's that simple.
How did he do it? I have to know. Somebody tell me. It's not fair.
And oh yeah, it's completely free. And remember, when the stock market is up or down, looking joyful or just plain dreadful, you just keep buying in and not try and time the market. Buy in month over month, and after a long period of time, you'll end up averaging that great market return. Once I reach 59 and a half years old, and I've been in my IRA for at least 5 years prior to that, I can start taking withdrawals to live on. This money that I take out will be taxed as current income. Meaning, say you retire, you don't want to work anymore.
Tell him I'm retired.
You start pulling money from your traditional IRA. You still get taxed as if you're working a regular job. So if you pull out 75 grand to live on that year, you'll be paying taxes as if you had your old $75,000 a year job. There are also mandatory distributions you'll have to take out starting at the age of 72. Remember, Uncle Sam always wants a piece of the action in terms of taxes. So essentially, they force you to take the money out so that they can get their cut. According to the IRS, traditional IRAs are really great for individuals who expect to be in the same tax bracket or even lower tax bracket when he or she starts taking withdrawals later in life. Maybe when you retire, you don't need as much money as you're using right now. And I certainly don't want to pay a bunch of extra taxes. So in essence, I can control my own income level and my tax burden by mandating my traditional IRA withdrawals. I can set and define my own yearly income, all while writing down my taxable income today. It's pretty cool.
Dang.
But here's the rad part that most people just don't understand. Say something terrible happens to your life prior to retirement and you need this money to survive. You can always take this money out and have access to it. There is a 10% penalty on your gains when you take them out early. And there's even some exceptions to that. Like if you're disabled or you're a reservist called to active duty, maybe you're buying your first home or paying for college expenses. But in essence, the money's not gone. And if you need it in a pinch, you can have access to it.
It's my money and I need it now.
It's my money, and I need it now!
Personally, I don't use a traditional IRA. My wife and I fund a Roth every year. I'm actually okay with paying taxes now and then contributing in my Roth so that later in life I can pull it out tax-free. My wife and I send Fidelity a check for $12,000, again, $6,000 and $6,000 for both of us in January of every year. It's a great goal for us as a married couple to keep this in the back of our minds all year and to save up for it. And we contribute in January right after Christmas because we're kind of already in the spending mode. Sometimes we even sell random knickknacks around the house on eBay to fund this big deposit. For us, it's very rewarding knowing that we're saving for our future, we're preserving a great retirement, and giving ourselves a chance to give this money to our kids and grandkids. If you don't think the traditional IRA is the right fit for you, check out this video about Roth IRAs.